Yesterday, hi, this is Lynn Susak, and I am your faith coach. Yesterday, I talked about faith acts, acts of faith, how faith acts, and this was several testimonies that I could give example of how how we fight off fight off sicknesses and in faith by action and expectation, and I gave some examples. Today I want to just talk for a minute about that your body has a memory. This goes along with speaking to your body, training your body to listen, and it listens faster the more you do this. Now, it has a memory, so this is how I would explain that when you first have something wrong with you, it's a little easier to get rid of it right away. And I've learned that I have, you push back and resist and don't comply with sickness, don't give in to it, and it will leave. Now, something that you have had a lot longer that you didn't know to have the faith to push it away and reject. I'm not saying it's impossible to make it leave. Just know that when you do get victory, which we talk about on here all the time, but that victory can be your body, okay, when you're well and you get sick for a few minutes and you resist it, your body like remembers, okay, it's used to being well. So it's easy to go back to being well. When your body is used to being sick and you resist it and you start to see some progress, it's easy for it to just go back to being sick or disabled. And an example of that is a person, I'm going to compare, and this is going to be a paralysis example. A person that Curry Blake prayed with, who was on a stretcher, who had just had a motorcycle accident and was completely paralyzed and was going to die. People brought him in, and Curry Blake prayed over him, and then within about 24 hours, he was completely healed. Found out while later, like a couple of years later, Curry talked to him. He was completely walking and healed, and he found out, how it went. But at the time of the prayer, there was feeling coming back into his legs and feet, and there was rejoicing, and then he was, he was brought home, and things recovered from that point. Now, somebody else, Tony Myers had Lou Gehrig's disease, and he was healed of that after a long time of being sick, and he was paralyzed, and when he was healed, and his book is on the internet, Tony Meyer, M-Y-E-R, The Lord Jesus Healed Me, and you can read that testimony, and he has other books, and he's on YouTube. So his healing happened suddenly, but then he was reparalyzed a few times. It came back, he woke up with it, like his body remembered being paralyzed, and it came back, so he had to fight it off. Like, no, I'm not gonna stay this way. He had to fight it off in prayer, and this re-manifestation of his miracle, like 4 times, because the first time was, completely, he didn't know why it happened or how it happened, except for God had something to do with it. And after, I don't know how long in between the being paralyzed again, but he struggled and, prayed, and maybe he had the gift of tongues at that time. I know he does. Now we all, several of us, a lot of people have the gift of tongues. That's what I do when I'm afraid or panicked, start praying in tongues. So, he just full force, prayed until it, he started getting unparalyzed. And that's exactly what we want to do now. Just keep praying and knowing, the knowing that you have after you've been healed, and then, it comes back, and you're prepared and know, hey, I don't have to keep this. Then that knowing, that is your faith, is the push back. Now, when your heart says, I don't know, we've been like this a long time, it's for some reason harder to fight and keep fighting and knowing and just relaxing it and not pushing through until it manifests. So the kind of manifestation that happened to him after he had been healed, and it came back, and he was like, I'm not, there was nothing he could do except pray until it manifested. He wasn't going to call somebody and say, start taking care of me again. So that is the kind of fight that we need to have the first time, So just being aware that this can happen gives you a lot of power to know that don't be afraid. It's just, your body can go back the way it was or start to, but you don't have to take it. And that first healing should be the exact same way as the other, as if later on you resist and it leaves. That's how we get healed the first time too. But what's the difference? We need to know that we don't have to be sick and fight it off the first time just the way I'm talking about. Once you do have it, don't let go of it. Don't let it come back. Resist, and it will leave. So this is what we talk about every day. Every day I'm on here. I like to talk quickly, within 10 or 12 minutes, about a subject, a faith strategy that I have learned because I have, a lot of experience in healings of, that I've resisted, not allowed, to come in. We've had, like I said, I'm going to have the next one, write down a few more examples that I remember and share them again about when something happened and we resisted and it left. Heart attack, my husband, just different things that we, here's what we did and it left. This is very helpful. It's how I learned about so many of the things that I'm practicing my faith with and successfully seeing results. And on my journey of getting rid of paralysis myself, which of course will happen. Amen? Thanks.